What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Racy Podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. Welcome to the show. So today, guys, I am going to speak to you about A Quiet Place, Day 1. I have to say, this has to be my least favorite film from the franchise. At the time of recording this podcast, there has only been 3 movies of A Quiet Place. And this one, the most recent one that came out in 2024, is my least favorite one. We're probably thinking that maybe I'm just hating on new films, on new horror films, but I'm not. It's not that I don't hate it. It's just that I don't enjoy it as much as the other ones. Because like the other ones, before this one, I really thought that there was like a lot more stake. Like there was a lot more action, a lot more thriller on the other films. Not like on this one. Here, like, I will describe the films. The very first A Quiet Place movie, I feel like it's a horror thriller movie. Because we don't really know much about the aliens and stuff, right? The second film is mostly like horror action. There's a lot more action scenes on there because we do know what the aliens are and how to fight them. And yeah, it's just a lot more actiony. And now for the third film, we kind of went back. It felt like it was like a horror drama in a way. Horror drama is kind of tricky in a way for horror films. If your primary focus is to focus more like on the drama scenes in a horror movie, it gets kind of difficult because yes, in this film we did have our main character and our second character as well. They both, like, I guess they just grew and they just bonded in this world. It was actually in New York City where this whole film took place. I was expecting more action because it's freaking New York. New York is like one of the biggest cities in the United States, and I was expecting a lot more action, but we didn't. We actually got the opposite. We got to mostly focus on the main lady. She actually has cancer, and the man, he recently just came from I believe Europe, and he was just coming in like to study law. I think that's why he said in the movie. So these two characters from different backgrounds, they come together in this world and try to survive it. Now her main purpose, our main character's purpose, was to get pizza. Yes, that was her main purpose. She wants to get the last slice of pizza. But like even beforehand, before the aliens actually came to New York City, she always like wanted to get pizza. And that was like her main goal, like throughout the whole film. She wanted to get the last box of pizza before like actually eventually dying from cancer. Because she did have cancer, and also like the man, I have to say that the cat that was with the lady, it kind of saved him in a way because he was in a very bad place, and I guess like the cat did save him, and like it kind of gave him like another chance at life. It's kind of ironic because at the ending, it seemed like our main character, the lady, she seemed like she accepted death at the ending, and the man, he was trying to find a way to live. And so once he saw like the cat and the lady, he did see like there's just some hope. There's just some hope for me to actually live, and maybe I could find a way out of New York City, basically. So for the aliens, for this movie, we didn't really get to find out much of them. Like there was just like one scene where we actually got to see them eat something, I have no freaking idea what were they eating. So they were eating something, all right? There was like probably like four of them all grouped together and just eating something. That's how far we gotten for this film. We didn't really get much of anything else other than what we already know from the other films. The first film, I'm guessing that's like the one that we actually got more information from the aliens, because like the little notes that the man left, or like he was like taking notes of, that's like the only thing that we know of the aliens. And I guess for this film, the primary focus was just like the characters instead of just only focusing on the aliens themselves. I guess, and that's why, in my opinion, I believe that I was just expecting a little bit more. Like, I was just expecting to know more about these aliens. Why are they here? Why are they doing this? Is there something more? So it's like the military, they like immediately figured out, like just a couple of hours in, like until the aliens came in, they figured out that the aliens, they were very hyperactive with the sound. So like they warned the people, just telling them that they just need to stay quiet and they won't be able to get killed from them. That was like very strange to me. Like, it is the very first day. The movie is called A Quiet Place Day One. How did they figure it out so fast of what they needed to do and how to survive the aliens? It just took them not that long just to figure it out. I thought like it probably would have taken at least a couple of days or something just to figure it out, like, how to actually go over these aliens, like how to sneak around these aliens. But it really didn't take them that long. Yeah, that was like very strange for me. And yes, like the character, the main lady, she actually did get the pizza that she wanted at the end. And now their main goal was to get inside a boat. But like, since the lady actually had little time to live because she did have cancer, she kind of gave herself away to the aliens so the man can actually go on the boat. Now there was one thing that I was confused about. In real life, will a boat ever actually stop for just one person? I know this is just a movie, but like, say this is real life, will there actually be a boat that actually just stops for just one person that is trying to survive? I don't know, man, because they already had survivors on that boat, and maybe just their mission was just to get the people that are on the boat to safety and not worry about anybody else coming inside the boat. I don't know, that is probably unrealistic in a way. And I do not mind like the lawyer and also the lady bonding. I don't think, let's say in real life, will they actually do get along? Like, if people actually do get along and just like that, like the end of the world is coming, and will people do get along like that? Well, I do not know. I have never survived an apocalypse, but like probably people would have had their guard up because it is kind of the end of the world. Like the example I can tell you of that comes to my head is The Walking Dead. Like, those characters, those survivors, the main survivors, when they come in contact with somebody that they do not know, they'll always have their guard up, and like they always have the gun pointed at the stranger that they do not know of. Like, you get me? Like, I feel like I think they should have focused more on that, because people are very precautious at this time, and they probably do believe that the world is ending. But maybe I just could be wrong that there are some people that are nice and they're just trying to help others. There's some that try to hurt others and some that try to help others. And I'm guessing on both of these two characters, they just enjoy the company and they weren't looking on killing each other or anything like that. So I'm guessing that's okay. That's fine for me. I don't really have an issue with them bonding on the apocalypse. And yeah, and to be honest, I have to give this film. You'll be surprised. So I give this film a 7 out of 10, a solid 7 out of 10. You probably might be wondering, really, a 7 out of 10? Maybe it could have been lower. But no, that's fine. It was a 7 out of 10. But like I said, this movie it was mostly focusing on the drama aspect more than on the aliens themselves. Like around 40 minutes in the movie, we didn't really get much action from the aliens. Like it was just mostly just focused on the two main characters and just them surviving. We didn't really get to see the aliens a lot in this film. That was the thing that probably people might have talked about negative about. Yeah, like they were expecting more of the aliens. Like, were we able to find out anything else that we do not know of the aliens? And like this movie didn't answer that many questions. It mostly left us with more questions, and I think that was the main issue on this movie. Yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10. But yeah, it is my least favorite from the franchise. If I would rank the films, I would say A Quiet Place Part 2 is my favorite one, A Quiet Place Part 1, the second best, and the third one. Day 1 is my least favorite from the franchise. And I can't wait for the next one. The next one has got to be good, man. We're probably gonna go back to the original cast, hopefully. We will see what's going to happen next with them. And another thing I want to talk to you guys about is Deadrising. If you guys have ever played Deadrising, the video game, there's going to be a new Deluxe Edition, and I gotta say, man, these graphics are so insane. This game has been one of my favorite games ever, man. Probably, I have to say in my top 5 at least. My top 5 video games I've ever played. I've been playing this game since it was on the Xbox 360. I remember I bought it on the PlayStation 4. And now I also bought it on Steam because now I'm mostly playing my games on the Steam Deck. And so I have that game with me at all times. This game is so fun. And I'm glad that it actually getting a Deluxe Edition. This game seems like it's a remake because of the freaking graphics. It kind of does suck that the main voice actor for Frank West, he's not going to be on there. TJ, I'm not really sure his last name, but TJ is not going to be the voice for Frank this time. That's kind of the downside for this game, but that's mostly it. Everything else, I'm excited for replaying this game. If you do not know what Deadrising is about, it's about a photojournalist. He goes inside a mall and he tries to get a scoop to find out like what is happening around the mall. And he just figures out something very terrible has happened. Like he finds out what really caused the zombie outbreak. That's what the main story is about. And you just try to survive there for at least 72 hours. And you can use any weapon you want from the mall. You try to face the zombies, but not just only the zombies, but also like the people. There's some people called psychopaths, and you try to face them. And man, those bosses, they're very difficult. They're fun, man, but The first time I tried to beat the clown, Adam, he was very difficult, man, because he has the chainsaw, and that's basically like one of the best weapons in the game. You gotta be strategic on fighting these psychopaths. It's a fun game, man. I freaking enjoyed that game. It will always be dear to my heart. And I can't wait, man. I can't freaking wait for the Deluxe Edition to come out. It's gonna be fun, man. I know it. I know it's gonna be one hell of a game. And last but not least, guys, I'm switching gears and I'm going to speak to you about Alex Pereira versus Jiri Procházka. This was the rematch, and these two, they gave a one hell of a fight. It was a quick fight, and guess who won? Well, you probably already know if you are a fan of combat sports. Alex Pereira won again against Jiri Procházka. My prediction was that he was going to TKO him on the third round, but it turns out that he TKO'd him on the second round. This guy is a beast, man. This guy is one hell of a fighter, like I told y'all before. And supposedly, he is moving up to the heavyweight division. You know who's on that heavyweight division? Jon Jones. They say that Jon Jones is one of the best MMA fighters to have ever lived. He has only really lost just only one fight. That one loss, it was a DQ. He has never really lost against an opponent. And supposedly they're saying that Alex Pereira, he might want to fight Jon Jones. But I don't know if Jon Jones will ever want to fight him. That's the thing. The people are still, well, like the UFC mostly, they're still planning on Jon Jones fighting Stipe Miocic, and we don't know when they're actually going to fight each other. Last year, Jon Jones actually did get injured, and that's what actually made the process even more longer, because he was supposed to fight him last year, and that just pushed the heavyweight division back. If Alex Pereira actually beats Jon Jones and becomes a champion, he will be the very first UFC fighter in history to become a 3-time champion in UFC. The first person that had 2 champions in the UFC at the same time was Conor McGregor, but Alex Pereira, if he does makes it and beats Jon Jones in the heavyweight division, he will be the very first one to be a champ. That's what they're calling it. That will be awesome. That will be awesome to see, man. This guy is ruthless. This guy is just that great. We will see. We will see what's going to happen with that. And yeah, guys, that is it for this podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to actually subscribe to the channel or on whichever platform you are listening to this podcast. If you are listening to it on Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, make sure to follow it and also recommend this podcast to a friend or a neighbor that actually likes listening to stuff about horror stuff, pop culture, and even combat sports. Maybe they will enjoy this podcast as much as you do. And yeah, guys, that is it for this podcast. Again, thank you so much for listening. Take care and live to the fullest. Bye.